Hello, everyone. It's Francis Widdowson here. I just wanted to say a few words about spectrum street epistemology, that method, as well as the assassination, I guess that's the right word, of Charlie Kirk, which obviously is a horrible thing that has happened, that violence is put out against anyone who is trying to express ideas. That's just completely unacceptable in a democratic society. Anyway, I have studied quite a lot of what Charlie Kirk was doing, which is the change my mind approach. And I have decided to do the spectrum street epistemology method, which I think for a university is a better approach, just because it focuses on the evidence as opposed to saying, this is your view, this is my view. What we should be always focusing on in the university is we are making claims. We are making claims on the basis of evidence. We become less certain or more certain depending upon the quantity and the quality of evidence that is put forward to support a claim. So to this end, I'm going to be doing a number of sessions. And in fact, I would like to bring this method to every university in Canada, because I think it does offer real possibilities to move beyond the current lack of discussion, which is happening on university campuses, largely due to the problem of self-censorship, because of, quite frankly, the intimidation that is going on, where people are accused of being an immoral person, a racist, a transphobe, all these kinds of name calling that goes on, instead of looking at the actual arguments which are going to be put forward. And that's really the important aspect of the university. So to this end, next week, which is going to be on September 18th at 1:00 p.m., we are going to be holding a street epistemology session at Mount Royal University, which is my university. We did a spectrum street epistemology session in August, at the beginning of September, on there are only two sexes. That was the claim. And the reason for choosing that claim was because Mary Lee Mulholland, the chair of sociology and anthropology, testified in my arbitration hearing that one of the reasons why I should not be reinstated is because I put forward the position that there were only two sexes, male and female. And I think most people would be quite shocked to learn that that view is that some professors put forward the position that that view, which I believe is the scientifically correct view, should not be expressed at a university. So for the next session, we've chosen another contentious claim, which has a direct bearing on my case. And that is the claim, Indigenous science is not science. And again, this has affected me personally, because a harassment complaint was filed against me by a person whose name at the time was Gabrielle Lindstrom, who now goes by her maiden name, Gabrielle Weaselhead. Anyway, Gabrielle Weaselhead, when she filed a complaint, said that I had said that Indigenous science is not science at a lecture at the University of Calgary in September 2019. And this was harassment because it was racist and discriminatory. And although it turned out that I had not actually said that, I was asking a question about whether Indigenous star knowledge should be used in the astronomy curriculum or the anthropology curriculum. That was the nature of my question, but Lindstrom Weaselhead had interpreted it this way, and it got a bit muddied as to whether that actually was seen as being inappropriate in a university. And as a result, I asked a question in Arts Faculty Council on March 5th, 2021, because everyone was saying that Indigenous scholars felt unsafe at MRU and had left. And we knew that Gabrielle Weaselhead had left MRU because she was claiming to feel unsafe. So I asked, is saying that Indigenous science is not a science, is that something that makes Indigenous scholars feel unsafe at Mount Royal? And as a result of that, I was attacked by about 8 other faculty members. And this situation, even though it was me, I was being harassed at this meeting, it was claimed that I had disrupted this meeting so much that this is one of the piece of evidence that I could not be reinstated at MRU. Anyway, that entire episode is documented on the video that I did with Daniel Page called Mount Royal University Murders Academic Freedom. So we want to go into Mount Royal University. We want to make this claim because we want to show the world that these are the kinds of claims that should be discussed at a university. And to this end, I have sent an email to all the members of the Indigenous Studies program, which includes Gabrielle Weaselhead, but also Vicky Bouvier, Karen Pheasant. There's a number of other faculty members as well, Ranjan Data, and ask them if they would like to participate in this session, because I have Albert Howard, who's co-author of Disrobing the Aboriginal Industry. He is going to argue that he strongly agrees with the statement Indigenous science is not science, and we would like to get a true believer to argue the other position, someone who truly believes this claim that Indigenous science is science. And then we can have a discussion about this, which is what should be happening at a university. But unfortunately, this isn't happening. And this is what I want to change. This is my whole mission now, is that we need to be able to go into universities and have these kinds of discussions. And to this end, I'm also going into the University of Manitoba on September 25th. I'm going to be talking about this tonight on a program of Winnipeg Independent Media with Todd Ian McDougall to discuss what's going to be happening at the University of Manitoba, where we're going to discuss the claim the grave error at Kamloops was a hoax. And I don't agree with that claim. I think there's better words to describe that situation than a hoax, but I'm hoping that someone like Jaime Rubenstein or Michael Melanson or any of the members of the research group who do think it is a hoax will be able to show up and make that claim. Anyway, so that's my plans for the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping that these will be a great success and show people what can be done at a university. I really encourage people who are going to be, opposing this to just be a little bit introspective about this and say, should we not be able to discuss these claims at universities? Because if we are not able to discuss these claims in universities, there's going to be nowhere in society that we're going to be able to do this. And this is going to result in the kinds of anger and violence that we witnessed with respect to the terrible killing of Charlie Kirk yesterday. Thank you very much. And I hope to see you at Mount Royal University on September the 18th.